We chose to do our presentation on neuroscience by Courtney Theodore, Delaney Mahalik, Maddie Wheat, Riley Perez, and Marissa Wetter. What is neuroscience? It's defined as the scientific study of the nervous system. There are a significant amount of branches of neuroscience. These include affective, behavioral, cellular, clinical, cognitive, and more. It investigates the processes by which the brain learns and remembers, the system of neural pathways underpinning our ability to speak and comprehend language. The brain consists of various regions, each with its own specific function and role. The cerebrum, which is located in the front of the brain, comprises gray matter, the cerebral cortex, and white matter at its center. It initiates coordinated movement, regulates temperature, enables speech, judgment, thinking, reasoning, problem-solving, emotions, and learning. The cerebellum is located at the back of the head. It has two hemispheres. The outer portion contains neurons, and the inner area communicates with the cerebral cortex. Its function is to coordinate voluntary muscle movement and to maintain posture, balance, and equilibrium. The brainstem connects the cerebrum with the spinal cord. The brainstem includes the midbrain, the pons, and the medulla. The hypothalamus is located above the pituitary gland and sends its chemical messages that control its function. It regulates body temperature, synchronizes sleep patterns, controls hunger and thirst, and also plays a role in memory and emotions. The thalamus is the body's information relay system. All information from your body's senses must be processed through your thalamus before being sent to your brain's cerebral cortex for interpretation. Your thalamus also plays a role in sleep, wakefulness, consciousness, learning, and memory. Finally, the limbic system. The limbic system is a group of structures in your brain that regulate your emotions, behavior, motivation, and memory.
Our next slide is on building blocks of the brain. The main thing in your brain are the cells that are called neurons, and they have three main sections in your brain, which are the cell bodies, the dendrites, and the axons. Another part of the brain is your neurotransmitters, which are sent out of the synaptic terminal. Just like the rest of your body, your brain is made up of billions of cells, but the cells in your brain are called neurons. These neurons are like microscopic building blocks of your brain, and they help keep the structure of your brain together. These different parts of your brain are very important, and you want to make sure you keep them together to overall have a functional working brain.
Neurons communicate through synaptic transmission. The binding causes ion channels to open, altering the electrical potential of the postsynaptic neuron. This triggers the release of neurotransmitters from the axon terminals.
Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to adapt and change due to experiences. Neurons are the building blocks of the brain and nervous system, which is what neuro is referring to. Plasticity, on the other hand, refers to the brain changing. There are two different types of brain plasticity: structural plasticity and functional plasticity. Structural plasticity is when the brain physically changes its structure, such as size and shape, in response to disease, learning, or injury. Functional plasticity is when the brain takes charge in moving functions in damaged parts of the brain to undamaged parts of the brain. Allowing your brain to take part in the process of changing can help boost the fitness of your brain, help you recover from brain injuries, help strengthen areas of the brain that may be declining in its function, and it increases the ability to learn new things. Most of the time, young brains are more responsive to this type of activity going on in the brain, which can also be influenced by a passing of genes.
The nervous system is a complex network of cells that send signals into the body's tissue that control the body's activity. There are two main components in the nervous system: the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. The central means the brain and the spinal cord. The peripheral means the sensory and the motor neurons. There are three main parts: the brain, the spinal cord, and the nerves. The functions of the nervous system are the sensory input, interrogation, and motor output. The sensory is a way your body reacts to temperature, pain, or light. The motor is a signal to muscles and glands to elicit the movement and the interaction that is the appropriate response to the sensory input.
Nervous system dysfunction is caused by the gradual and progressive loss of neural cells and neurodegenerative disorders. This refers to an extensive range of clinical diseases that can arise later in one's life. Some of these diseases include Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, and other progressive dementing maladies. Alzheimer's is a brain disorder that slowly destroys a memory, thinking skills, and ability to carry out basic tasks. Parkinson's causes movement problems that cause shaking, stiffness, and difficulty balancing. These clinical symptoms are related to the extensive neural loss. The most common cause to these diseases is aging. The older you get, the higher chance for neurodegenerative diseases to arise. There are currently a few medications available to minimize these effects.